I'm trying to scroll. Okay. All right, guys. So, entire screen. All right. All right, guys. Thank you for joining me tonight. We're going to go over auctions, how to find those auctions, really what an auction is, and hopefully give you guys some insight as to what to look for and what to be prepared for on the calls. This is Acquisition Mastery, one of the workshops that we do. We're doing calls now on Thursday at 6, and then Tuesday at 6, and then Thursday at 11 a.m. And the calls are going to be focused on one subject a week, and normally those subjects will be anything that has to do with distressed properties and finding those deals. Now I'm just going to kind of touch on what we're looking for when we're looking for these auctions, and kind of the different stages in which these auctions can be in. So when we're looking at auctions, you're going to see that there's going to be different types of foreclosures. You're going to notice that there's a notice of trustee sale. Sometimes these are going to be marked as pre-foreclosure or foreclosed or auction. You're going to see that there's different variations in the names. So I'm going to explain all of that. The first step of an auction, and just to kind of give you the context, is a missed payment. So once they have a missed payment, there's 3 missed payments, and then that gets them a notice of default. The notice of default is basically them missing the first 3 payments and then defaulting. And then the property at some point, a little bit after that, goes into pre-foreclosure. Pre-foreclosure then gets them the notice of trustee sale. That's when they inform them of the auction date. And usually those auctions are stoppable up until the day of the auction. I've stopped them the same day. There's different ways to stop them, and it's really going to depend on the situation for that particular auction. The best way to stop them is to get them before they have an auction date. But if you ever run into something that already has an auction date, don't be scared off by that. Know that we could still stop them up to the auction date. It takes a lot of work to do that, but it is something that we can do. So I'm going to go over some of the sites that I pull auctions from. I'm going to send you guys out a script after we get off the call. So if you guys aren't signed up for the mailing list, please sign up for that. We have I have a couple different sites that we're going to go over. Right now, I'm just open on PropStream because I was just looking at a property that was under pre-foreclosure. I tried to reach the lady before we got on the call. She wasn't picking up. So I'm going to still continue to work on that while we're on the call. But there's a couple different websites that I suggest that you guys look at when pulling auctions. I have the websites already up, so I hope you guys can all see this. And I'm going to bring up everyone as contributors so you guys can jump in here and chat while we are running through this. And then if you guys have any questions, feel free to go ahead and unmute yourself and ask those. All right. So the first one that we're going to be looking at is a company called Realty Bid. Now, a lot of people have misconception about this particular data company because This particular data company isn't only for realtors, it's actually for investors too. And they have some really fresh data, and they have some properties that you aren't really able to find in other places. They also allow you to do search by the state, the city, the county. You can also use all of these filters here. Now, if you are looking in a particular area, I don't know if let me see here. I don't know if any of you are mapping a particular area, but Nick, I recognize you. Are you working any particular area right now?
Cape Coral, Fort Myers, St. Pete area.
So I'm gonna just pull this up for Cape Coral. I'm gonna see if it finds anything on here. It's not looking like it is. Actually, we got one. Okay. So scheduled sell date 8 days, February 21st. This might be a good one for you to look into. Okay. Have you seen this one yet on your side, Nick?
Hold on, I was on my phone. It's super small. I gotta get on my computer.
No, it's okay. So when you're evaluating auction properties, one thing to note is that you probably have some payments that they're behind on. Well, obviously there's payments that they're behind on, but those payments have accumulated also fees and other things like that. The way I normally approach offers on auction properties is a net to seller offer. So instead of like giving them a set price, I'll say, we'll ensure that you'll walk away with $80,000, right? But I more or less know approximately how much their payoff is. And normally I'm doing that through either checking records or checking PropStream, checking PropWire, one of the data sources that I have to get an approximation. So we're normally approaching those with guys, give me just 1 second, okay? I'll hop back on. Okay. Oh. Okay. Well, all right then. I'll call him then. All right. Just okay. Bye. I'm so sorry about that, guys. So, just going back to this really quick, I'm always using net to seller on auctions because normally I can get them more deeply discounted, and it's just going to depend if you have access to the data of the mortgage or not. If you don't have access to the data of the mortgage, just stick with the facts of how much the house is worth. So Realty Bid's really cool. You can search any local area, any state, any county. It'll give you live pre-foreclosures, different areas. I use basically a scraper to scrape all of these, and then sometimes I'll skip trace them, and then I'll market to them that way. But if you guys really want to be specific, just filter them out through the city, the state, and the zip code. Another one that I'm going to show you guys that I use is Hubzu. These are pretty good. just depends on what you're looking for. I mean, check all of these. These are all sources that you guys should be using. Different filters here, mobile homes, multifamily. If you have a buyer that you're specifically looking for, use these as a resource to find these properties for these buyers, and call them. Redfin, that's another property that we were looking at. And we have auction.com. This one is, I mean, everybody uses this one. The other two, these are all free sources. The other two are kind of less known. And these are, this auction.com one leads directly to Zillow. So if there's ever one on Zillow, you'll see that there's a link that says auction.com. Now, Nick, are you using any of these sites that I just showed you?
I've been on Privy, and I'm on Privy, and then I use like Zillow and all that.
Zillow, yeah. Zillow's up there, pretty accurate, but they're not focused around auctions, right? So, and these ones, this Realty Bid, this one is, I don't know if you can see it right there, but it says a Covius solution, and they are a direct MLS data provider. So, Realty Bid's really cool, pretty accurate. I see that it's really up to date. There's a lot of let's see if I can so 43 days out. So it's showing properties that are scheduled for auction 43 days out, which means that it's pretty accurate. 21 days, that's kind of like what Zillow is. This one's the furthest one out. It might have got it extended. So, I mean, it's just really going to depend on the areas that you're using them for. Now, are you when you're doing auctions, Nick, have you what kind of problems have you run across?
I haven't looked at auctions yet.
You haven't?
I've been mainly trying to do direct to agent.
Direct to agent, yeah. DTA is good. DTA is good. I feel like for deeper discount deals, I feel like auctions is the way to go.
It is. The problem is with not having like if you have prop stream, it's not bad because you can look up liens and all that.
Yeah.
The problem is Privy doesn't show any of that,
Right. Yeah, Privy doesn't show any of that. You can get
Privy has the best MLS data.
It does,
but they don't show all the behind the scenes info.
Yeah. So you're using Privy for everything? Because from my understanding, Privy is great for DTA, a lot of DTA stuff. But I mean, otherwise, I mean, for like straight comping and like evaluating properties, I don't think that.
Yeah, I use like Zillow, the prop stream. I think their comparisons are kind of off.
Yeah, prop stream definitely. The comparison's off, but what's not off is that it has the ability to like filter out what's been sold and what's not. And actually, I talked to the guy from PropStream today, and I told him, I asked him, I said, how far behind is the data for your auctions? And he said, well, we're actually getting it updated as soon as records updates it on their side. So they're getting, they're getting it almost instantly through an API, for record data. And they have like a boutique of like third-party data sources. And then they have all like 3,300 county records of them to provide, that data. And from my experience, they've been pretty accurate, but not as far as like them evaluating properties or like showing accurate comparisons or anything like that. They don't. But the ability that they have that that a lot of other websites don't is that it'll allow you to filter, right? And when you can filter and manually look through the properties, it makes it so much easier to comp. So I always comp within 3 months, but let's look at 6 months. So, I mean, when I have when I'm looking at properties, normally I'll look at multiple data sources. There's not one time that I've ever comped a property and relied on just one data source.
No, you should never do that.
No, of course not. Like I would before I would use Zillow, Redfin, Realtor.com. I would use PropStream. I would use Fidelity, and I would just find the best comps, and I would put them all together. Basically, find the price per square footage, and then the price per square footage times the square footage of the subject property, and that's what I would come up with as my ARV. And
Right.
you'll get flippers that they'll stick with a very streamlined approach to pricing, and they'll say, nothing in that neighborhood, and you'll probably hear this, time and time again, but nothing in that neighborhood sold for over $500,000, right? And when you look at the price per square foot, it'll give you an accurate reflection of what it's selling for at the market. And as long as that is reflected in other properties, you can always be, you should always be convinced that your valuation on the property is correct. So,
Right.
Based on, I'm just gonna run through this property really quick. I found the exact comp. So this 241 Conifer, they said it's 666 a square foot. We had probably like a 3% growth since let me see, October. Maybe a 1.5% growth since October. This is San Diego that we're talking about. So, I mean, if anything, this house, I would know that it's probably worth ARV is closer to 680 on the subject property. So I know prior to going into the conversation with the person that's going to have the auction in their house, what the price of the house is. The data that PropStream will give me is kind of unmatchable. It'll tell me the estimated loan balance here. 135,000. Then I have another second at 52. I also seen that they had like an absorbent amount of like liens, right? So like that.
Was that house that you were just talking about in Cape Coral?
This is another one. This is another one that I was evaluating earlier prior to us getting on the call. So it was just a property that I had seen on Realty Bid, and then I evaluated it, seen that they were still in auction. Tomorrow's the auction. I was going to stop the auction. Hopefully I could get a hold of them while I was on the call, but it wasn't going to happen. So, but
there's a group out of Chicago that I follow that they do that same kind of thing with pre-foreclosures.
What's the group?
Give me 2 seconds.
Abdullah?
Might be.
It's Abdullah Ghaffar, maybe? Yeah, I mean, a lot of people, the auctions they're sweet, and a lot of times there's a lot of distress, and a lot of the times that when you're doing these types of properties, there is there's a time that they need to be done with it, right? So
yeah, they got a pain point.
You have all the factors, right? And that's what's important for good wholesale deals. So that's why they would be a great target for anybody that's looking to, really get into these. And, with, just especially Realty Bid. I mean, Hubzu is great. Realty Bid, very on point, and they just make the data very clear, very easy. It tells you exactly when the auction is too. PropStream has this data also. So like
National RE Invest is the one out of Chicago.
National RE Invest. Yeah, I'm not sure who they are, to be honest. What do they focus on auctions or proof foreclosures?
They do a lot of what they talk about is so their page is chicagoreia.org.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
But they have like a lawyer on their team that specializes in stopping foreclosures and
Right. Yeah. So I mean, honestly, you don't even need an attorney to stop it. I mean, it's super like simple. And I could do a class on that. That'd be, something that I would love to do, but it's it's just best to I guess approach them with empathy, because if
oh yeah, like Pay said, you got to find the bunnies.
well, yeah, you have to, you can't just skip right to.
You just can't take and approach a seller and be like, oh hey, by the way, I'm gonna throw you this low offer out here
Absolutely not.
without any conversation. I mean, if you don't build any rapport with them, I mean, they got no reason to choose you.
They wouldn't anyways.
They already have 30 people that are sitting there in their inbox doing that same thing.
Absolutely. And then not only that, I mean, if you're not building a real conversation behind it, if you're not building and, building the rapport, and then finding out about the problems that they're having, because that's going to be, 100% of their solution is you fixing those problems. A lot of these people, maybe they are not mentally there. Maybe there's, some type of other situation, right? Maybe they lost somebody. Maybe they just can't fend for themselves. Like, you should always approach it with empathy and really just see how you can help them.
Exactly. If you just approach it from the end goal is to make money,
Absolutely.
But your first priority should be how you can help.
Well, yeah, because
what you can bring to the table for them that somebody else isn't offering.
Right. And if you approach it with empathy, I guarantee you have a better chance of getting the deal. Because if they see that you're disingenuous at any time, or they see that you're trying to manipulate them or trying to steal from them, they will lose all trust for you, and the deal probably goes to somebody else, right? So, I mean, that's 101, so, but ultimately knowing about what you're talking about, the different stages of the auction, and knowing where to find the most up-to-date data. So Realty Bid, auction.com. If you have PropStream, use PropStream. If not, use PropWire. And then just
PropWire is the one that you said is free, right?
Yeah, that one's free. Actually, I listed some data sources on that guide I sent out yesterday, but I'm gonna keep adding to that because I left out a bunch. I mean, I didn't. Afterwards, everyone was like, you only listed like a few, and I want to make sure that everybody. I mean, that's all you need is a few, but I'll make it more comprehensive so there's more to choose from. I guess I don't want anybody to get drowned down in what they call like analysis paralysis either, right?
Where you just taking so much information that you don't have time to take any action.
Yeah, I mean, and that's kind of how I felt about the calls too. Like, going back to that, and everybody was kind of set that I only doing 2 calls, but I'll take your guys' calls anytime that you need me to. But the only thing is that it's just I feel like it's overbearing, and I don't feel like anybody is getting much value out of it if it's not broken up into just 2 sessions where we can focus on the what's on one session and then implementation on the next session. Right. So
it was kind of an accountability type deal.
Yeah, exactly. Accountability.
If you hit the morning group and you get homework, then when you come at the afternoon session, like you should have some action to show for it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So
That house that you showed that you were telling me about in Cape Coral,
yeah.
It looks like they owe 192 and they're asking 295.
I mean, that might be a good one for you to just
Nice little split.
yeah. So I mean, you know, like these are easily there's already a motivation. It's clear that there's already a motivation. I want you guys to ask me some questions about auctions. I know we got some people in here. I don't really know the levels of everybody in here, but whatever you guys have on your mind about auctions, please ask me now. It can be anybody too.
That house looks pretty decent too.
Yeah, the Cape Coral one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that one.
It's not all tore up.
No, it can use a little bit of work, but that's it's still
It's just a minor cosmetic,
yeah.
Like the tile floors are pretty stupid looking, and
Yeah.
I don't
And
like
Jensen,
I don't like that they got the above ground pool in a fucking cage.
yeah. Hey, and Jimson Sanchez, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing good. How are you?
I am good, man. Thank you. Thank you for joining us, man. Are you doing any auctions yourself?
So I'm fairly new to this. I would say probably like a month in. So I'm just trying to learn. What are some of the first steps that I should be taking. So I was just listening to the call. I've been reading a couple books just to get familiar with the process.
What books are you
So yeah, the answer would probably be no. I'm new to this.
What books are you reading?
I bought the pre-foreclosure for dummies,
Okay.
and then I bought another one. I haven't really started that one yet.
Okay.
Yeah,
So what I want you to do, and tell me, am I saying your name right? Is it Jimson?
and Jimson, yeah, you got it.
Okay. All right. So this is what I want you to do. Tomorrow, when we get off the call,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna send you a couple of title companies. Okay.
Okay.
And tell them that you want auction list, and tell them that you only want the auctions that have the phone numbers. Okay.
Okay.
All right. And it'll be like a list of title companies. They'll send you a list of like maybe 30 or 40 people that have auctions coming up in whatever area you tell them that you want them. So tell me what area you're working.
So I'm in Delaware. So I've been looking into like Delaware, parts of PA, maybe New Jersey.
Okay, PA, New Jersey. I got a deal in Philly right now. So, and we got yeah, Shannon, I will. You can jump up and say something anytime.
So you said reach out to these.
Yeah, I'm gonna send you the title companies, and you'll be able to reach out to them. And I'll send them in Pennsylvania and New Jersey. And then that way you can just target those two areas. Tell them, and then I'll send you like a little script on like what to tell them. You just want to tell them, I just want auctions, and I only want the stuff that has the phone numbers. Okay, and they should be able to provide that for you. All right.
And is that something that you pay for? Is that like
No, it's free.
how does it
No,
work?
it's 100% free. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 100% free. That it'll be probably pretty good leads, probably better or about the same that you can find. I mean, you could find all of that online, but it's not skip traced, right? So
Yeah.
I mean, what you would do is if you wanted to go on here and just get started right away,
Mm-hmm.
you can go here and like let's say for example, I'll open this one up. So you could just search this, and I'll just do a quick search on it. And then what I do is I just go up to the search bar, click phone, I type in phone, and then I'll run down and see who I could find. So I already got the guy's name and his phone number in Corona, California, Michael Sawyer. It might be valid, it might be not, it might not be. And you can check these records. I always go to the one that says cluster map. That's pretty valid. And then I always go True People Search too. So and it has the phone numbers. Let me see. Yeah, phone number for the guy. It tells you different information about them. Let me see. Yeah. So who he's related to. If there's another one, if you run into like, so for example, you call this phone number and then like, let's say you say, is this Michael? And then they say no. Like, oh, is this Sharon or Christopher? And then you just follow up with the, the people that he's related to, because it may be them instead, right? So these are just little things that you can implement, to get started. Nice meeting you, bro. Let me know how I can help you. Are you in our group or no?
Yeah, I joined the group a couple days ago.
Okay.
That's how I got the link for this call.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
Well, hey, nice to meet you, man. I appreciate it. Look forward to seeing you more.
Likewise, thank you.
All right, thanks.
Your deal up in Philly a wholesale deal?
Say it again.
Is your deal in Philly a wholesale deal?
Yeah, it is it's a wholesale deal. Yeah.
I was gonna say it seems kind of far for you to be trying to grab any buy and hold or anything of that.
No, I wouldn't. Yeah, I only buy California, San Diego. I've made the mistake of buying out of state before, and it's just not for me. So
yeah, but I mean, with your area, you could even check Vegas.
Oh yeah. I'll go outside of Vegas. I'll go to Vegas. I'll go to Arizona. I'll go to Oregon. Probably Washington.
You just don't want to get too far away.
Not too far away, right? So like Oklahoma, Colorado, Texas. Those are all kind of out of the question for me. So, I mean, just because I don't have people out there that can watch these projects for me. I mean, and I could outsource it, but it also costs money to outsource it. So.
I mean, if you grabbed a sub 2 or something like that, I mean, you could hire a property manager, but then what's the cost versus what you're making?
Exactly. So, normally they're 10%. So, and then, even if it's like, I've run across some really good properties that I would love to like flip. And, just because they're out of state, it's just like, it's so hard to do that. Right. Like, I mean, and you'll run across, like with the auctions, you'll run across a ton of properties that are like deeply discounted. I've gotten some of my best deals. They've been, kind of like, well, really, I would say my in between, because really the highest dollar amount in deal, I think, is probate. I would say that probably the one after that is like auction or pre-foreclosure, because there's just a clear distress, right? So.
Right. And I mean, if you can connect with them and tell them like, hey, if you can connect with them and make them see like, hey, you either lose it to the bank and get nothing.
Right. Exactly. Like, I mean, and, a lot of the times, like you'll get these, and it's funny too, like these guys will wait until the last minute and they'll call you like the night before and be like, hey, look, like, the auction is happening tomorrow. Like, I don't know what to do now. And, so most times, I mean, you're buying that deal cheaper than you offered to buy it in the first place.
Yeah, that's what the guy in Chicago, the guy with the Chicago group was talking about. He's like, you call a lot of these people. He's like, they just don't know what to do. He's like, so a lot of them just lose it.
Yeah.
If you don't call them.
Yeah, they will. They will walk away from it. They will, and their immediate instinct is, and I'm gonna say for most of them, is drag my feet until the last minute, and then try and like jump ship or just walk away. Or
let me save up as much money as I can while I'm dragging this process out, and then I'll just go jump into an apartment.
And then they feel entitled about it. They feel like they can stay in the property and squat in the property. And it's like, it gets, I mean, those things can get really messy. Like I've had some really messy ones where, like the nephew was like living inside the house and he didn't want to move out, and he was like, really bad character, and nobody even wanted to like visit the house because of like how bad he was, and he was squatting in the house. And it's just, I mean, there's a lot of like things that you'll have to be aware of prior to you need to know their financial situation. You need to know like more or less if they have a place to go, and help them in that. A lot of what we do is helping people. So I've had in other circumstances, I've had had to find a place for them to move to, or maybe a alternate solution to what we were trying to do. You just got to be the problem solver.
Yeah, I mean, usually as long as you're not trying to short sale it.
Exactly.
I mean,
yeah,
they're gonna walk away with something.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, and short sales, I mean, that's a very rare situation for a short sale, so, but they are out there. I mean, and I'd rather sub to it before I short sell it.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like once I take and build up capital and shit, I wouldn't mind hitting pre-foreclosures for sub 2 deals.
Absolutely. And so, I mean, but that's another thing too, is that they get so far behind. I mean, the entry fee at some point just doesn't make sense.
Because like my cousin, he does sub 2, and but he goes for strictly just like on market deals, But he was telling me, he's like, man, he's got like 4, so he lives in Illinois too, and he's got like 4 properties in Texas, and he was like, make like $400 a month.
Oh yeah, easy.
He was like, so, like he got to the point where he's not even really chasing sub 2 deals anymore, because he's like, I'm making $400 a month.
Yeah, I mean, but I mean, when you multiply that and it's recurring and you still own the asset, right? That's what the difference is. And
that's what I tried to explain to him, but he took and split off, and he's doing like business acquisitions.
I mean, and that's the thing, is that not a lot of people look at it for the long haul, so, and
that's my thing. Like I want to get fluent with all these strategies, so
right,
I can take and I can acquire property regardless.
And Jensen, you did you have another question?
Yeah, quick question. Do you? I know you have this call. Do you guys record the calls? And do you guys have a vault where I can access maybe previous calls?
Yeah, so YouTube channel is gonna have the calls, and you can find that by youtube.com/acquisition mastery wholesale.
Okay. Perfect.
All right.
Thank you. Yep.
Thank you, Jimson. Appreciate you, man. So and the channel is gonna start. I'm gonna start uploading more content to the channel. For now, I don't want to get overbearing for the group. I mean, there's not a whole lot of people in the group, especially I'm trying to get everybody's schedule to figure out when they can attend these calls. So if you guys have a recommendation in time, I want you guys to like drop it into the group and say, I want you guys to have these calls at this time. So that way everybody will see that, and then hopefully it'll catch on, and that people will start putting the schedules of, when they are available for the calls. That way I can make it more streamlined for everybody, make sure everybody can get on the calls. I want more people involved. I also want to do this stuff one-on-one with you guys, because I don't want anybody left out, and I want everybody making deals. So now that we've got into that, is there any other questions that I can answer for you guys about auctions today?
I'll throw another question. Let's say I start making calls and then I find somebody that maybe wants the process to be stopped, but again, I'm not familiar with, since I'm new to this. What is the best way to get in touch with you to get some assistance with maybe stopping foreclosures, or even like with paperwork or anything that is needed?
Okay, so any and all of that, I want you to okay, so let me just clarify. So when you're comping, I want you to get in touch with my team. Okay, my team has a sheet that we help you comp. So when you have a deal that needs to be comped, you send it to my team. They will comp it for you. They'll get back to you with the evaluation on the property if you need help comping. Also, I have a guide for comping. I did a small comping mastermind that I'm going to re-record because I didn't like the way that it turned out yesterday. And I'm going to re-record that. And this time I'm going to do it privately, but I'm going to release it to all of you. And then I just had so much going on yesterday. It was just not the right time for the master class. So the mastermind, I'm going to break into 4 pieces. It's going to be a basically a 4-part series that entails single family, multifamily, land, and then commercial properties. I'm going to teach you how to comp all of those. I released a guide yesterday, and I'll send that to you. If you don't have that, I could resend that to you. Do you have that?
Yeah, I was reading earlier today.
Okay, so that guide is just let that be a resource for you. There's a lot of information on there, so I understand if it's a lot to take in. Just let it be a resource. If you ever get stuck comping a property, refer back to the guide and be like, okay, this is what I have to do. If you aren't able to comp the property, I want you to send it to my team. And then if my team can't comp it, they'll send it to me and I'll comp it for you. Now, if you need, let's say that you have a deal that you need help with immediately, and I'll put my phone number out for you guys in the chat. That way you guys have it. Let me see here. And for everyone else, feel free to message me on Facebook. All right. So let me see here. Jumps in Nick. And then Shannon, did you have any questions? Are you struggling with auctions?
Sorry, I was muted. I mean, for me, it's kind of like just getting started all together. So I'm like, I feel like I'm drowning a little bit. I'm like, okay, I should learn about wholesaling. I should learn about sub two. I should learn. I would love to do a first deal, and I don't kind of know what to do without having like a lot of cash. I'm in the San Diego area as well. I think it sounded like you are.
Yeah. Yeah. So okay, what are you working on right now? So are you trying to wholesale, that's the strategy of what we're doing, but I mean, are you focusing on the specific strategy for wholesale, or are you just kind of like FSBO and probate? And I know I'm throwing a lot at you guys, but this is kind of how it's going to outline like the whole course. And basically I'm just going to do one strategy a week. So I want to make sure that you guys are understanding that I don't want you guys to just stick to the strategies that we're working on. I want you guys to stick with one that you're comfortable with and then run with that, if that makes sense.
Yeah, kind of. You're just giving us options and you pick which one works best for you.
I'm giving you guys options. I want you guys to pick one that works for you and then work that option. Now, I mean, if there is ever a time where we're working on something else and you guys need help with another strategy that you're working on, I'm 100% going to help you guys with that. I think if I was a brand new wholesaler, the way that I would start is I would do for sell by owner, and I would let auctions be a catalyst for me to at least make some quick checks, get a proof of concept. And then once I have that proof of concept, I would be working my way into doing probate deals as a as a catalyst to start buying more properties, if that makes sense for you guys.
You think auctions are better than DTA?
Absolutely. I hate DTA. I'm going to do a DTA next year or next week. I'm going to do DTA. I hate DTA. I mean, it's okay, but there's just so many more viable options, Nick.
Yeah, like my thing is I'm trying to take and work the strategy that's going to make me quick cash so I can focus on other
auctions. Do the auctions. Auctions will be the quickest way for you to get to cash, or FSBO, because I mean, like, it's kind of the same thing. FSBO is great because what happens is that it's for sale by the owner. We take it and we list it, and then we profit based on what they listed it at by negotiating the price down.
Right.
Right. So, and we do a self-listing, so we bypass all like the realtor commissions and all of that stuff. So,
yeah, exactly.
So I mean, going back real quick, I mean, you really have to stick with one thing, work one thing. The fastest way to cash is going to be the auctions, and putting all of the FSBOs and the auctions, putting all your effort into doing those two strategies probably get you, a check within the next 30 to 45 days. If you're not working on anything, if you're already,
I'm trying to take and get, the active income from stuff like that, but then I want to acquire buy and holds, stuff like that to offset, to offset the active income.
Absolutely. And then not only that,
multifamily too.
Yeah, multifamily is, I mean, that's obviously all of that's long-term goal. You want all of that, but I mean,
but I got to get the quick cash first.
You got to get the quick cash because you need the catalyst. You need to be able to have it push you to that next, to where you're able to do that stuff. Because,
exactly.
Finding and doing fix and flips and all these other types of strategies. You've got to have
time consuming
too. So.
And they're time consuming.
So you're going to need time, and you can't. Not a lot of people could take time off to do these types of things. So, you got to have money in the bank, and that's the way it works. So
money talks.
Yes, Shannon, what were we saying?
Just that I haven't been able to catch all of the videos or the calls so far. So yeah. So I think you said you're going to send information about auctions and like what to call and like get a list. Was that what you said? Auctions. And then with the for sale by owners, like, do you have like a go by for that, or would it just be wait until you post that training?
Yeah. So we have a small training. I actually released a guide for the FSBOs on there, but I'll send you a video on it. What we have to find the FSBO deals. Auctions is what we went over today. Now, auctions, you're going to want to, if you're in San Diego, probably the best way to look for auctions is going to be through either auction.com or Zillow. California is a little weird when it comes to that. So, but you can look for pre-foreclosure and auctions in Zillow, but I'm going to release this recording later on today on our YouTube channel. So I'll make sure you get this one too. Because you
can get them from the county records too, can't you?
You can. Yes, you absolutely can. These sources, the RealtyBid, Hubzu, and auction.com, probably the most accurate with the most similar to the county records without having to actually go through all the county records.
Right.
And then the trainings, do they kind of tell me, because like I get like, okay, spend some time like searching and like finding some, but then as far as like next steps, because I think I've been really limited in the way that I viewed it. Like I don't have cash to buy a house, but the wholesaling situation is that you don't need that. But I don't still know or feel confident in knowing like what to say or even like how to do the next steps of.
So your main goal as a wholesaler is to act like a buyer. Okay. Your main goal as a wholesaler, I'll say it again, your main goal as a wholesaler is to act like a buyer. Now, what do I mean? I mean that you are literally going there trying to purchase the property from them. Now, now you know that, right? Obviously. So, but the I guess you're probably struggling with not being able to you don't think that you know how to talk about it yet, but all you're doing is trying to buy something from them, which automatically puts you in a position of, I don't have to buy this from you, right? I mean, it's not like you're trying to sell them anything. So when you change that mentality, when you change that mindset, and you actually think of it like that, you'll lose all that like fear, and you're just calling to get information about the property, right? And then you're eventually starting to you shouldn't even be negotiating with them yet. Don't negotiate at all. Just build a conversation and have a talk with them. Find out what's really bugging them. The two things that I'll ask you to bring back to me if you want to do deals with us. There's two things that I need from you when you do your discovery call. When you do your discovery call, you need to bring back the price that they want, okay, and the motivation that they have for selling the property. So I need to know, why do they want to sell the property, and at what price do they want to sell the property at? And if it's an FSBO, when you come back to me and say, I don't know, they don't want it anymore, and the price that they want is the one that it's listed for, I'm not going to take you serious. I want you to come back after you've had the conversation and say, hey, Jay, like this is, this is what they want. This is the reason that they're selling them. And I talked to them about price. They're more realistic at, whatever the price is. I'll give you my best pitch that I can to like close the deal. I work on tons of deals. I got people sending me stuff all the time. So I'm trying to keep up. I got my team trying to keep up with everybody, but I mean, it gets really overwhelming sometimes. So, I guess the best answer to your question, you have to get your reps in, and have to talk to people. You have to fail a little bit. You have to know what not to say. You have to be vulnerable for that, because that's what's going to probably get you to that next deal. And just be ready to hear a lot of people tell you no, and don't think that you're going to get 100% right the first time, because we all, even still, like I started doing this a couple weeks ago. I mean, I get caught up on my words sometimes. I don't know what to say. Like I get embarrassed on here, but I know that it's just all part of growing. And I'm not going to get it right 100% the first time, So, I mean, and that should go the same for you guys. Just be confident in learning the process and knowing that even if you don't know what to say, that's okay. Follow what I'm teaching you, okay? And you'll learn 100%.
Another thing to piggyback on what you're talking about. The thing I was taught is, for one, big thing is record your phone calls.
Yeah.
That way you can see when you're talking to people, especially when you're first starting off.
Yeah.
If you record your phone call, you could see what it is that you said that made the conversation go left.
Absolutely.
To where you can correct it in the future. And another thing is, if you don't be worried about messing up on the call, because if you mess up, guess what? You take and call the next person. You never talk to that person again.
Yeah. They don't know who you are. You don't know who they are.
Yeah, it's not like that these people are going to come find you because you messed up on the phone.
Yeah. A lot of the times it's ourselves beating ourselves up. And, if there's just going to be, you're going to have many of those phone calls where it just didn't go right. And that's okay, because, you'll get a phone call that does, and that deal will be worth, quite a bit of money. So the money's real, 100%, by the way. To anybody that doubts that's on this call or that's watching this video, the money's 100% real. Okay. I guarantee that you could live a very good life wholesaling. I know many $1 million wholesalers. I'm gonna have them on these webinars with us, and I can I I'm proof of concept. I mean, there's for me, it's
Is that your main niche? There is wholesaling.
say it again.
I said, is that your main niche? Is wholesaling?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. So, and I know many wholesalers that do really well too. So it's very reasonable to believe that you can make $1 million a year wholesaling, and that gets you to a point where you could start investing in your own real estate. And after being in wholesaling for a while, you're going to want to start buying your own real estate, because you'll see why people are doing it, right? So for now, learn what I'm teaching you, pay attention to the verbiage, pay attention to the other people. Notice that half the people that'll get into this, they'll fall out. It's not a very easy business to be in. It's very stressful. There's always something constantly going on, and shit is always hitting the fan. No shit. You know,
Oh, yeah,
so,
I believe it.
and you know, it's something that I do full time. I do a lot of stuff for free because something's told me that that's just the way that it's supposed to be. I mean, even this stuff, like I do all this for free. Like I don't expect nothing out of it. I have no expectation for it, but I feel like they're just giving and giving to other people and making sure that they're successful. I feel like it'll bring me success in some ways, and you know, it may not, but that's okay.
Thank you so much for that, by the way. I mean, it's really appreciated. Like, you definitely offer a lot of value, and it's been, it's just, I very much appreciate it. Just to kind of clarify too, you kind of said something about if like bring something to your team. I know that I feel like you said something about that on the first 2 videos or the first week of videos that I wasn't able to watch. Is that a thing where if like we bring kind of like an idea to you or the comps or whatever, and you guys will do that, then there's some kind of like a partnering on that deal kind of a thing? Or can you elaborate?
Yeah, so if you guys have a deal that you want our help on, so like let's say for example you need us to comp it, you need us to close it, you need transactional funding or private money for the deal or whatever it is, we would basically provide that, and or we would source that, just depending on what we needed. And then we would be partnering on the deal. You would be part of the acquisition side. Acquisition side normally gets 25%. Disposition side normally gets 25%. We take everything in the middle. And basically for us, sourcing and outsourcing, doing everything from A to Z on the deal, that's where our portion would come from.
But I mean, still, I mean, if you're just getting started, 25% of something is better than 100% of nothing.
If you're brand new, most people only do 15%, and I promise you that you can check that. And it's more so about you getting a deal and then being able to get more deals. And then I want to be part of your deal, but I don't need to be part of your deal. Like,
and 25% is actually super generous. I've seen ones that are as low as 5%.
5, yeah. I mean, if you're brand new, it's something to get you started. You'll get your feet wet. You will get knowledge. You'll get access to our resources, the things that we have. I'm obviously giving all this stuff away. I don't mind being in your deal, not in your deal. I have people already messaging me from the groups, like, having me comp properties and do all these things. So we have 2 people that are already working deals with our team. So, I mean, I want to help you guys. I don't want to take all your deal. I'm not trying to do that. It's just when I get involved in a deal, I'm in that deal, and I don't,
You got to make money too.
I have to make money, but also, like, I've just got a million different things going on. I have to pay my team. There's just, so I mean, regardless, like, I want to help you guys get a deal. I don't, I will negotiate with you guys if you guys feel like, oh, like that's a lot. Like, I don't really mind, but it's just, a matter of what we do together. And, you're learning from me. I feel responsible for you, and your success. When I take on a new person or new people, I don't want to lead them astray. So I prefer that everything, have all the information before you do everything. So that's why it's in my form. That's why I put the 25% in my form, because
Yeah, that way you don't feel that you don't want people feeling like you took advantage of them type deal.
absolutely not. Like, if you join the group, like this is kind of like what it is. And I mean, like I said,
But at the same time, like, with what I like about the 25% structure is, just knowing you, is because then you will, I know that if people are like, hey, this is the deal I got, could you take and walk me through every step that you're going through as you're helping them with the deal, then they're gaining that firsthand knowledge.
Right. Absolutely.
A lot of people, it's easier when you see the process happening than just hearing the information.
Absolutely. So let me see. And then I'm gonna start doing, like, maybe like live calls. I'll start recording live calls and I'll put them on the YouTube, so you guys can reference those, because I had that come through in the questionnaire quite a bit, that people wanted to see how calls went. And stuff like that. So I'll be glad to do those sort of things for you guys. Just, you got to let me know what you guys want to see, and what kind of content or information you guys want. I don't mind giving you guys it all. Yeah, I just need to know what it is that you're needing or what you're lacking.
You don't. It's kind of like the reverse situation of new people starting out. You don't know what we don't know.
I don't, exactly. So, like, when I'm thinking about things to, like, talk about, I think, okay, we got, like, my original thought on this was do multiple strategy sessions on one subject. I thought, okay, that's going to get boring really fast. We're always going to be talking about the same thing. Let's go one strategy a week, 4 calls. And then I'm like, you know what? Just based on the calls in the past, I think that it's just better if I keep it to 2 calls, and then we basically we'll basically be able to focus on one thing a week, and then everybody can pick one thing that they like, and then there's just a lot of different activity happening.
And then it makes it easier for you with the one-on-ones.
Absolutely.
Once people have picked a strategy that works for them,
and I can coach them on doing that specific strategy.
Exactly
what they like. So. And there's not teaching them, how probates or, the different stages, but I'm doing trainings and I'm recording those, and I'm trying to make like a database for those things. So everybody will have access to those, and they can just choose one specific thing that they like.
Yeah. Kind of like standard operating procedure videos.
Absolutely. So, and they're just different resources, and I'll do like different resources every week, like guides and just different like cheat sheets and things like that for you guys. That way you guys have to reference those too. So like, I'm ready for you guys to make money. I want you guys to make money. I believe that you guys can make money. I remember being a new wholesaler and just like not really knowing where to start. All the verbiage was so confusing to me, and it just gets overwhelming, like deals falling apart, things like that. I mean, it really helps to learn from somebody. And if I had somebody to learn from, I could have probably moved much faster. And I feel like that's what my main goal is with you guys, to help you guys move faster. So
yeah, and that's the thing. Like even if you understand all the verbiage and everything, I mean, it's still
Yeah.
A lot of times you get stuck in the, okay, well, I know this, but where am I supposed to start?
Nobody realizes how many steps there are to a wholesale deal either, right? So, I mean, there's so many. Like, regardless, after you're done with negotiation, then you have to fill the contract, and then you have to have the contract signed. You have to probably explain the contract to them. Then you have to take it to escrow. You have to have them open title. I mean, and then from there,
Yeah,
it's just
EMD.
EMD, finding a buyer, like, it just depends on what your exit is. I mean, there's just so many steps, and it can get, and each deal is different, right? So it can get very confusing, and it can confusing really quick. So, yeah, I mean, auctions are great. I think everybody will make some money quickly with auctions, especially if they say to call an auction like 5-6 times. If they're not picking up, that'll get them to answer their phone. I've heard that before. I don't know how true that is, but I think that if everybody was, they say like the first 2 times they're not going to answer because they think it's like a bill collector. But if you ring them like 5-6 times, they'll answer. They realize it's like a local number. Anyways, there's some stupid.
I got another key piece for that.
Okay. What you got?
If they don't answer, leave them a voicemail.
Yeah.
Tell them that you got some money. You got a way for them to make some money.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Watch how quick they call you back.
Absolutely. And reverse engineering, Nick, right? Like we're just reverse engineering, and we're just trying to get the call back. We're not really trying to sell them anything on the voicemail. I mean, you have to think of it that way too, and anyways, guys, I just realized it's like 7:10 right now. We're over an hour, and I appreciate you guys staying on with me this long. Like, really, thank you so much. Getting to talk with you guys is nice. I am going to send out an email after. We will have like a little cheat sheet with all these resources on there. You guys will have that, and then I'll have an auction script. So you guys will have that also. Thursday, we're going to be doing a call at 11 a.m. and we'll run that call. It's going to be the same thing. I'm going to show you guys how to implement it using the script, and we'll get to work. All right.
Yeah, we definitely appreciate you taking the extra time away from your family to help us all out.
Thank you, Nick. I appreciate it, man. Thanks so much.
I'm definitely going to check out that script once you send it. I'm going to get on the phones, and I'm going to find a deal for us to do together, Justin.
Hey, that sounds good, bro. That sounds good. And then remind me again, what area are you in?
Illinois.
Illinois. Like
I'm in Illinois, but I'm looking in Florida.
Okay. Okay. All right. Cool. All right.
I can't wait to get out of this state.
Don't like it there no more?
I haven't liked it since I moved here.
Oh man. Yeah. Well, no comment for me.
I moved here from Vegas, so
okay.
I don't like the cold.
Oh no way. That's right. You're gonna move to Florida though?
No, probably not Florida. I mean, maybe the deal would have to be right.
Dago? What about San Diego?
It'd have to be a great sub too.
Yeah, I know it.
Besides that, looking at like Texas, Nevada, Arizona.
You go move back to Vegas then.
Probably.
Yeah. All right. Well, hey, thanks guys. Thanks for jumping on with me again tonight, and look forward to seeing you guys on Thursday. And let me know if you guys have any questions in the group. All right.
Yeah. Thanks for your time again, Justin.
Thank you. Thanks for your time.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Later.